Hi everybody and welcome back to Visit Fylde Coast. This is part 2 of the circuitous loop round Fleetwood, and I just need to orientate you. We left the last video here as we turned left on Victoria Street at the side of the steamer pub. So we've not turned off anywhere, we're still on Dock Street. This is Fleetwood Museum on your left in case you can't read, and we're going to follow the road round and you'll see why I get lost. With my sense of direction, you'll see why I get lost. So we're coming up to the Seaside end of Fleetwood seafront. And when I say Seaside, I mean sort of buckets and spades and fish and chips and all that kind of stuff. I'll just let this lady go on. So we've got cafes, we've got the ferry, we've got the tramway, we've got the RNLI shop, which is just going to come into view in a second. That's well worth a visit if you're around and about in this area. And this is the pretty sit in your car and enjoy the view bit. So on the left is Euston Gardens and the North Euston Hotel, and on the right is a lovely view, and actually there's just a ferry over the top of the cars. I don't know if you're able to see it, and that'll be going into Heysham most likely. And this is the lower lighthouse, the North Euston Hotel, and plenty of free parking right at the front of the sea, so that you can enjoy that. And as we drive round the corner, we're following the edge of the peninsula. And just coming into view on the right is Marine Hall, and on the left, just tucked at the back of the buildings, is the Mount. So this is the old original bit of Fleetwood. And the Mount, which is just going to come into view, there you go, that beautiful little building sat on the top of a hill. That's where the town's founders stood to mark out where they wanted the streets of Fleetwood. So that was a sand dune. It was the highest point at the time, and Sir Peter Hesketh Fleetwood and his architect Decimus Burton stood at the top of the sand dune and decided where they were going to put all the roads and streets of Fleetwood, of his new planned town. And it's really lovely on here. Caravan parking to your right, as you can see. Caravan, motorhome, wrong word, as usual. And these are all private residential accommodation, so there's not a huge amount of holiday accommodation in Fleetwood, although Airbnb might tell you a different story. Plenty of residential apartments. These are residential on the left, brand new, and some really lovely property. So Fleetwood is on a peninsula of land which is bounded on the east by the River Wyre and on the west by the Irish Sea. And that's why I get so mixed up, because if you carry on driving, you'll eventually come to where you want to be. So if you were to turn left down any of these side roads, without much effort, you'd end up in the town centre. And then without a lot more effort, you'd end up back on Dock Street, which is where we've just come from. So it's all, when you're kind of finding your way around for the first time, it's all very discombobulated. This is the Boating Lake on the right hand side. Excuse me, I'm just going to cough. And coming into view in front of us is the Leaning Tower of Fleetwood. That's the Russell Tower, and that's the Coast Watchers HQ. The NCI Coast Watch is a national institution made up of volunteers who keep a weather eye over our dangerous areas of shoreline. So the bit with the sticky out on the right hand side with the windows round it, that's their HQ. So when you get into difficulty, hopefully somebody will be in there and spot you and come and do something about it. And this on the right hand side at the back of the hedge is Fleetwood Golf Course. And like I said, there's some absolutely beautiful property on Fleetwood seafront. A lot of work being done in recent years. A lot of people maximising the spot, shall we say. And this is the golf clubhouse on the right hand side. And in a minute we'll be coming up to the new stretch of sea wall. So because the shoreline has turned a corner, this section of sea wall that we're coming up to is kind of head on to the prevailing weather, and it gets, well, you can only call it hammered. The waves and the ferocity of the weather has to be seen to be believed on this stretch of coastline, which is why all this sea wall was replaced in recent years. So where the green three-fingered spiky thing is stuck up, that's the new sea wall, which replaces one pretty much in the same place but looks a whole lot better. So the green spiky things are markers to show you where the entranceway is onto where the gates are onto the seafront. And if you're familiar with Fleetwood and you've lived here a long time, you'll remember that this used to be the ugliest great big grey sea wall that you ever did see. And when the promenade was rebuilt, it's all been landscaped and the wall integrated into the neighbourhood so that you can see less of it and it looks a lot more attractive while doing the job. And in between this side of the grass verge and the wall, there's a channel that carries overflow water should it come over the top. And there's also a series of ponds which are quite nice, and you can see one of the bridges across. Home to quite a lot of wildlife and a very wobbly road. So currently you won't really know, but the sea is literally at the other side of that wall. And then from Cleveleys, the seafront road rejoins the seafront again. But from here to Cleveleys, there's a gap where you can't actually drive against the beach, as it were. And in that gap is Russell School. So the road sort of turns left on this corner. You go around Russell School and then you can rejoin it. You can rejoin it at the other side. So that's Russell School that you can see the old building in front of you. The new modern looking thing is their new sports hall. That's what used to be Russell Hospital. So you follow the road round and you come back onto the main road. Now I've got to pop into Cleveleys town centre because apparently we haven't got anything for tea. So I'll take you with me and then you can see how driving into Cleveleys relates to Fleetwood, because it kind of all makes more sense if you know where what joins what. So on your left hand side here is the tramway. And in a straight line straight in front of us is Cleveleys. And this is Russell School that was in front of us a minute ago. Are you following all this? And if you've seen part one of the video, this is the field when it was raining this morning that I said the geese use in winter as a grazing pasture. If you turn right here, you're back at the beach. All looks so different when the sun shines. Looks such a lot nicer. But if you didn't have rain, you wouldn't appreciate the sunshine, would you? And this is where you start finding traffic queues. For traffic lights, to be fair. Welcome to Cleveleys. Now you might notice that the grass is yellow. That's because it's been mown and the area is going to be rotavated and it's going to be laid to wildflowers. I happen to know that because the Care for Cleveleys team have been trying to get wildflowers laid in various different places. And did you know it's also No More May? That's more as in M-O-W. And you'll notice that the grass verge at the left hand side is full of flowers and daisies and dandelions and whatnot. And No More May is an initiative to increase the amount of diversity and the number of bugs and different things by not mowing. So there you have it. Just in front of us is Cleveleys town centre. So you can see how near Fleetwood is to Cleveleys. It's not far away at all. So I hope you've enjoyed this drive around the outer edge of Fleetwood, as you might say. Don't forget, make sure that you've subscribed to the Visit Fylde Coast YouTube channel. Make sure that you've hit the little bell for notifications. Make sure that I'm just pausing because I'm going to park on the road here at the right hand side. I'm going to go around this little roundabout and come back. Make sure that you've signed up for your email newsletter, and we will see you next time. Bye for now.